Welcome to Peace in the Valley, where adventure starts at home.
Hello everyone, welcome to Peace in the Valley. Glad to be back with you again. Be sure to give us a like and a thumbs up right here. Also, be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for the channel. We're here today because we're going to record cutting down some trees. And we've got some old peach trees in the backyard, I'll show it to you here, that need to come down. They've aged and it's to the point where it's time for them to go. And we want to get them out this year so we can plant new peach trees next year. We want to cut them down and then burn the stumps out. Hopefully it works okay. But my normal chainsaw is the Poulan Pro right here. And I'm ready to say goodbye to it. I'm just so frustrated with working with it. The chain is nice and sharp. It cuts well. I just can't keep it running. And I know people out there who can make these things run in no time. Probably some governor, maybe rebuild the carburetor. But I'm just tired of dealing with mixing the oil and the gas. Several years ago on our weed eater, we switched over to the DeWalt 60-volt Flexvolt battery, and it has been fantastic. It has a lot more power than my gas weed eater ever had. And you can go through and cut down the yard and everything with just one battery. Actually, both the business and the yard, no problem. Well, I decided to break down and buy the DeWalt Chainsaw. It comes with a 16-inch bar. The other day, I used it to help the neighbor cut down an ash tree, and it did phenomenal, just phenomenal. So we're going to just run the sharpener, the file over the blade, the teeth real quick to sharpen it real quick, and we're going to go ahead and use it. At the same time, I also bought an 18-inch bar to get me a little closer to the length on the Poulan. But the other day I was so impressed I decided I was going to record it. So we're going to record cutting down the peach tree when we do this. So we're going to sharpen it first. I'll see you back here in just a minute. I'm going to use a pencil here to mark the blade. We are going to take 2 swipes with each one in that direction. Okay, and we're going to match the angle that we're at. You want to keep the exact same number of swipes on both sides to make sure you're not taking off. You don't want to get an imbalance. And do you remember time? Okay, that's one complete round. Here's the mark we've got. Okay, they all feel sharp. We did the first side. Now we're doing the other one, and I put a mark on it with this time a permanent marker so I can see it easier. That's going to be the one we start with. Same thing. We go along, and we just follow that angle. Just So you can see these trees here. They are not doing well. They're probably 14 years old, and they just have not been producing fruit. They weren't pruned right to begin with when they were put in, and it's time for them just to go away. So we're going to cut them down, and we're going to try out the new saw. So what do I love about the new saw? Well, it doesn't weigh a whole lot, no more than any other chainsaw, even with the battery in it. And the battery, there's no mixing. You can put oil in it. You do need to put oil in it. There's a gauge right here to show you where you're at on your oil. And we could add a little bit, but I think we'll be fine for cutting these down. So I love just being able to drop a battery in and turning it on. And it has a brake that you need to set, and you can pop it back so it's not doing anything. It also has a safety where you just can't rev it up. You actually have to press the button down, a mechanical switch, and then you can pull the trigger. Okay, so we're going to give it a shot. We're going to try it out and see if we did okay. The teeth still feel real sharp, especially after we just went over them real quick. And we're going to go after this first tree here. The prevailing winds are to the west, so we're going to have them fall that way, actually. Try to have them fall southwest. I think we'll be able to do it. If it doesn't, I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem. Cut really well. Cut very well. Nice pieces, sawdust. Okay, first one's down. Right here we have about an 8-inch log. We're going to see how fast it goes through it. And this is the 16-inch bar. We haven't switched to the 18-inch yet. We're going to get to that next. Here we go. Let's see. So we've got this knot. Actually, right here, it's a little thicker. Let's just go for it. Just a few seconds. We'll check back on the video and let you know. But that's the thing. This is just fast. We cut down an ash tree the other day. The wood was not rotted at all, and it just cut right through it with no issues. Of course, I had to get the RK25 in here. It sure makes it easier to lift up the trees and cut. And I guess I probably better do that right here. we're just gonna let the branches here dry out in the sun, and then we'll take care of them too. So anyhow, we're gonna move back in and look at how to change the bar and the chain. We just got back from cutting down the 2 peach trees that were old and ready to go, and I was very happy with how it cut. Now, that was not much of a challenge for any chainsaw, unless the chain's on backwards maybe. But in this case, it went just fine. You saw how fast it went. Those videos were not sped up at all, and it just cut right through them. I think that's great. But right now, we're going to look at the saw itself. So, how is it powered? It is powered by a 60-volt Flexvolt battery by DeWalt. And if you're going to cut down a lot of trees, you're going to have a few of them. Now, you saw we cut down both of those trees, all those branches, and it's still showing 2.5 to 3 right on there. So it's going between 2 and 3. So that isn't bad at all, I don't think. I think you could easily use this to cut down a bunch of trees, cut down a few trees, and haul them to your sawmill, and let the sawmill do the rest. I think this is a fantastic saw for that kind of work. If you're going out to make firewood and you're doing it all day long, I don't know if this would be the right saw for that, but it might be. If you've got, I've got 7 of these batteries to use, and how many do I have? I have the 9 amp hour batteries, and I have 6 of those and 1 of the 6 amp hour batteries. So I've got plenty to use that you could keep potentially charging if you want to carry that. I would rather carry this and not gasoline or oil. This takes care of a lot of problems, and this is really a good saw. I would much rather use it than the gas powered. So right here we have the 16-inch bar. That is what comes with this saw. But the manual says you could upgrade it to an 18-inch. So I found one that is supposed to be compatible. So we're going to try it out. How easy is it to change the blades on here, the chains? It's actually really easy. You just unscrew this by hand. You don't have to have any tools. Take that off. This here is how you tighten and loosen your blade, your bar. You can see that you also do need to clean it out regularly. There's some oil, so you know it's functioning. I would take my leaf blower to it, which I don't have, so we're just going to blow on it. But since we're taking this off anyway, you're going to keep loosening it up, and you just slide that off. Clean out the excess. So when we compare these bars side by side, you can see it's actually longer than 2 inches, I think. It's 2¼ inches longer than the 16-inch bar. Not sure which one was correct. Okay. That'll fit right there. And let's get the chain out. There we go. Okay, how does this compare to the 16-inch? There you go. Side by side. Everything are in the same place. before we finish with that, we're going to go ahead and clean out the sawdust. It does put quite a bit of oil on the chain. I don't think that's a bad thing. So it does seem to have some excess buildup. I wonder if that's a design issue that might need to be worked out. Okay, go ahead and tighten that back down. Okay. Before we go fully tight, let's adjust the blade. It says with a slight amount of tension, be able to have it about 1/8 of an inch. It's a new chain. Okay. So I do know that a new chain will loosen as it's used. So in the first couple hours, you really need to keep checking it. We'll tighten it just a hair more. There we go, and we'll just lock it down now. One last thing before we finish up here is how you add oil. And the way to add oil, because that's the only thing, and it might be easy to forget since you're not adding gas and oil mixture. What you need to do is opposite side of the bar side, turn it over, and right down here, this little oil icon, wipe away the dust, the sawdust. It's right here, you can see it. Blow it out. You don't want any dust or grime getting inside. Again, no tools. You just turn it a half turn. It has a little cable to keep it from falling out. You don't lose it, and you just pour it in. It does not take a whole lot, and you don't want to fill it to the top. You fill it just far enough that it's up to, there's a black ring inside here. It is the length of this. Don't go higher than that or it'll want to ooze out everywhere. So you just take this, put it back on, and snap it down. Really couldn't be much easier to add your bar oil right into there. So tell me what you think. If you were buying a new chainsaw, would you get a gas one? Would you get the Poulan Pro? Or would you go with the battery powered like the DeWalt or another brand? I chose DeWalt specifically because I already had batteries. I didn't need extra ones. So what would you go with? Put it down in the comments. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click on the notification bell so you can get Peace in the Valley's latest videos. Thank you for watching and have a great day.